Are your thoughts keeping you poor? You never attract lots of money if you think like this. Hi, my name is Lovett Namoko. Welcome again to this channel. We all know that your thoughts have everything to do with your life. Your beliefs, your thinking patterns, they have everything to do with your life. As a man thinks, so he is, according to the scriptures. And even scientists have proven that that is true. Now, perhaps this is one of the things many people struggle with: breaking out of poverty or averageness. And we know that to make a lot of money, there's a lot of thinking to it, there's a lot of positive thinking, there's a lot of hard work to it, and all that. But then your thoughts and your thinking pattern can keep you bound, can keep you not taking the right kind of action or not thinking the right kind of way. So there's a quote from J.T. Fox, somebody I follow, that said, you fail because you think too small and you do too little. That's why you fail. So thinking too small. Now, even the doing too little is also connected to how you think, because if you don't think you will succeed, you find yourself procrastinating. So if you know that the reason why you are struggling is because of your thoughts. Now the question is, how would somebody knowingly allow themselves to continue to think poor or think thoughts that keeps them poor and remain in the same place? Because many of us will try, but for some reason, many people remain where they are even when they try hard. Now, there's something I've talked about in this channel a lot, and if you've read my book, Life Euphoria, How Your Thoughts Create Your Life, you'll see a lot of that, even some of my life experiences around how I started working on my mindset. Of course, there's still work I'm doing, there's still a new level to get to, but understanding that if you know how to work on your mindset specifically to attract a lot more money, then most people will not remain where they are, right? The subconscious mind, we have the conscious mind where we think from every day, and we have the subconscious mind where the beliefs that we already have. Now, let me go. What is beliefs? Beliefs are thoughts that you think over and over again. Anything you think, maybe you heard it, maybe somebody told you about it, maybe that's what you keep hearing from childhood, you to become form a belief. So many people who are not born from a rich home, you watched and you heard, because beliefs are actually also created from not just hearing, even from seeing. So you watched your parents struggle with money, you watch them work hard and not getting as much, you asked for things when you were young and you were not giving, and things like that. So naturally it creates a belief. Now that belief becomes a limiting factor. That's what we call a limiting belief. It creates a belief around money. So whenever you think about money, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? It can be an exercise you do now. I say money, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? For many of us, it's hard to come by, or if it's a lot of money, then it's hard to come by, or it requires a lot of stress. So that creates a relationship with money. So ask yourself, what's my relationship with money? And it's not to judge you, it's not to judge. I was also there, or I'm still working on some parts too. So because of the experiences we had growing up, it formed that belief, and that belief goes to sit in your subconscious mind. Now 95% of our lives comes or is controlled by our subconscious mind, including our habits. That's where it's controlled from, right? So what do I do? What do we do to go, number one, even become aware of those thoughts? So in one of the previous videos, I talked about auto-suggestion method, right? We feed our subconscious mind consciously based on what we want, and we feed it the same way it naturally gets information through our five senses. So we also use our five senses to feed it now consciously. That's the difference. So that's why it's called auto-suggestion. You usually do it in a way that is automatic, and a way that is natural. Let me put it that way, a way that is natural. Anyway, so what are the ways, how does it work in our minds? What are the ways that our thinking sabotages, or negative thinking sabotages our wealth? So what happens actually is that if you always think if it is big money, then it's hard to come by, or it is going to take a lot. Of course, everybody, Even if you are poor, you still deal with money every day, but what's the quantity? That's the difference. So if it is big money, then it will require a lot of stress, it will require a lot of effort, or it's associated with pain. That's a big one. For example, I had to deal with this, and then I tell people around me to watch out for this big one. I ask them, whenever you look at bank app, and most time I hear they say things like they quickly swipe it. They don't want to see the figures because it always creates a negative feeling or pain, or because what is there is not enough, or what is there reminds them of their stress, source of stress. So the relationship with money is that of stress. Now, it did not start today. It has always been there, because for most of us, we were brought up in a home that didn't have so much money growing up. So we have already identified money in our subconscious mind as a source of stress. Right? Now, let me go back to how it works in our brain. How it works in the brain is that your brain will look at money, or will have what they call selective scarcity loop. Your brain will map money to scarcity. Money scarce. Just look at it that way. So money equal to scarce. So that is how your brain has mapped it. So it's a scarcity loop. There's something called scarcity illusion, which means anything you focus on, expands. Anything you focus on, the brain decides to notice it everywhere. So now, anytime you like now, you talk about a red car. Maybe you just bought a red car, or you notice that everywhere you go, you'll be seeing red cars. It just happens to every one of us. So that's the same way. Remember, in the other video I talked about evidence. Your brain finds an evidence. So if from childhood money is mapped to scarcity, or money is interpreted as scarce, then your brain will find more and more evidence to show you that money is scarce. So what happens is that you will not see opportunities. You will not even be able to think of opportunities to make a lot of money. You won't be able to even think of new ways. You won't be able to even take actions. You just find that you are choked in and blocked. So what other people find easy because they don't have that limiting belief, you find difficult. Right? So now, how do we solve this problem? I talked about auto-suggestion briefly. So now back to it. So it is a natural way of feeding our scientifically proven way of feeding our subconscious mind the right belief. Since it already has a limiting belief about money, calling money scarce, calling money painful, or mapping money to being painful experience, mapping money to being scarce, mapping money to requiring stress before you get. I'm talking about big money that can change your life. Now, what do we do? So let's start with the different methods we can use. 5 senses, right? So the first thing we should do is, the first step is know that you have this issue. I'm sure as I'm speaking now, some of you already know. Know that you have limiting belief. If you don't have lots of money in your life and you have been trying, it's already a sign. So, and if you have money stress, so know that you have the issue. Then identify what exactly are my own limiting beliefs. Your limiting belief might not be my limiting belief around money. So maybe yours, you don't really believe, for example, many people have the notion of money is root of all evil. Money is bad. Rich people, in fact, I used to have that too. So any rich man that you see, you believe that he must have done something wrong to get the kind of money. Because somehow there's envy there, there's beef. You feel certain way about rich people. If you really hate them, or what happens in your brain is that your brain tells you rich means unsafe. So with that, it doesn't bring you to where money is. And then it has a spiritual connection too. So you don't find yourself attracting money. Connotation. So you don't find yourself attracting money. Then so you find that don't be limiting belief. So find that examples of them are money is bad, those people that have money are evil, money is hard, lots of money is hard. If it's a lot of money, it's going to cost. In fact, the more money it is, the more I'll have to suffer. And your brain, remember from my previous session, we talked about your brain trying to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to go through anything hard. So it will always want to shield you from something hard and stressful. So, and it keeps you in that pattern. Now, so if you look at lots of money as stressful, lots of money as hard, lots of money as painful, lots of money, and these things in your conscious mind, you don't want to think that way, but it's already stored as a belief in your subconscious mind. So can you imagine 95% of your mind is already, which subconscious mind is already against you having a lot of money. There's nothing your 5% can do. So now, our work, our job, if you can think, and now sometimes watch some habits around it. Anytime you want to look at your bank app, or you got to get an alert, or you spend money, or spending money is a painful experience for you, this stuff like that. So you have to sit back. Now, I recommend a lot of breathing exercises. There are spiritual connotation to this, but scientifically too, it's also something we should do. It's proven. I suggest taking lots of deep breaths. Like in the mornings, you do that sometimes at night too. Lots of deep breaths, and to center you, to bring you to inertia, to bring you to zero. So while you are there, then you can now start becoming. Sometimes what you might be doing is identifying the places. That's your stillness moment. You identify the areas, the things you have issues with. Okay, I'm always when it comes to spending, I'm always angry when I get an unexpected bill. This is how I feel. So that's you journaling too. But it doesn't stop there. Maybe that you did that for day 1, then day 2. You now say, okay, what are the things that I think about money? Sometimes you may not remember all, but you can watch your habits. All right. So you start to write them down. Then next thing is start to create new thoughts. You may not have evidence yet. For example, if it is a lot of money, I used to go do this particular exercise. If it is a large sum of money, then it is easy to get. Now, in my conscious mind, even my conscious mind, I don't know how true that is. But once I started teaching my mind that you must believe something, this is your new belief, I started finding evidences. Your brain will always find evidence or something you tell it, actually when you insist on it. So it takes conscious effort to actually change your life through changing your thoughts. It takes conscious effort. You cannot stumble. People that stumbled into a lot of money didn't stumble into it. They did some work, some inner work. And it takes everyday work, sometimes 3 times a day. In fact, for effectiveness, you have to actually sit down 3 times a day to do it, to do this thing I'm saying. So then you sit down and write. If it is a lot of money, you can borrow this one, like one of the affirmations you can do. So I had to do this. If it's a lot of money, so I'm changing, because before what was there was in my subconscious mind was, if it's a lot of money, then it's hard to get. There's already an alarm there. It's a lot of money, then you have to brace up for hard work or stress. So you're getting ready for stress. So your relationship with lots of money is stress or is pain, things like that. So, and remember, your brain has mapped it to scarce. So if it's a lot of money, then it is abundant. And guess what? That is true. We are living in abundance. The air we breathe is abundant. Everything in nature is abundant. That is a fact. So if you use nature as your evidence that we are living in abundance, everything in nature is abundant. We were born abundant. We learned our negative beliefs about money. We learned scarcity. Abundance is our natural creation. Children are not born thinking, how would they eat? They just ask for what they want. They don't care if it's available. It's us that teach our children. No, money is not plugged in a tree, or money is not planted. That kind of thing. We are the ones that teach our children how scarcity. They were naturally so if you start writing, abundance is my natural state. I was born abundant. Say it to yourself long enough. Remember, you have taken deep breath. You have brought yourself to center. You are in a place where you are still. Right? Do it most likely early in the morning, quiet times where plenty thoughts are not flooding your mind. So there are things like meditation and all that, prayer, and things that makes you connected to your higher self, or or the source, God. That makes it even faster and easier. So when you are in that place, let's say for a Christian now, you have worshipped for a long time, or in the religion you have done your meditation and all, you find that you are in a still place, you're in a quiet place, you're in a place where you are not thinking lots of negative thoughts. And most scientifically, it's said that when your brain is in alpha or theta mode, just before you doze off to sleep, or first in the morning when you wake up, when the thoughts have not started rushing in, that's the best time to play your affirmation or say your affirmation. So lots of money is easy to come by. You are changing, your subconscious mind is most active at that time. So you mustn't be the one saying it. You can actually be you can be recorded affirmation, which are easier to just play while you are sleeping or once you just wake up. So you catch it to your subconscious mind and you are beginning to rewrite your subconscious mind, so that now you can easily take those actions you usually procrastinate, so that now you can easily think big and believe that you can actually get it. Start thinking big, start believing in bigger things. Now those doubts, those fears, those concerns, those anxiety that comes when it comes to taking actions towards your big amount of money, or when you are expecting a lot of money, you find that you can't sleep, you have a lot of that, those things can actually impede that thing from happening. So like I said, it's either you are doing your own writing, creating your affirmation, or recording your voice telling yourself that if it's a big amount of money, then it is easy to come by. If it's a big amount of money, then it is quick, because sometimes we also believe it's big amount of money, then it takes time, right? So if big amount of money, then it's quick to come by. That can be affirmation, or you can record your voice and play it, or you find there are lots of affirmations. I'm sure eventually here on this channel we'll record some affirmations that you can use too. So there are lots of affirmations online you can use to change that beliefs. So now, after you have done recognition, after you have done affirmations, it is stronger. Auto-suggestion doesn't end with just speaking or writing or hearing. It also goes with vision. So if I say, see that pink, I'm telling you a story about a pink elephant. That's what will come to your mind. You will see a pink elephant. So our subconscious mind thinks through pictures. So don't stop with just the writing or the speaking or the hearing. Add the sight. Remember 5 senses. So you are feeding your subconscious mind the natural way, which is 5 senses. So you must use the feeling, you must use the seeing. Now, when you then you're going to close your eyes. So this can take some time, but you have to do that. You close your eyes. So now, imagine yourself trying to sign a contract. Let's say it's worth lots of millions. So you find a picture, create a picture. Our imagination is powerful. Create a picture of you actually signing a contract, or you got an alert. I do this one, an alert. I look at my bank app and I'm happy. So now, as I keep doing that in my mind's eye, naturally my relationship with my physical bank app is not painful anymore. When I see debit alert, I'm not pained because I have practiced it using auto-suggestion method. Like I said, it's scientific. So then you start seeing, creating picture. Add feeling to that picture. If possible, imagine the taste of maybe where you are. Create a scene. So as much as possible, make it a real life experience in terms of your 5 senses. You are seeing it, you are hearing it, you are sensing it, you are feeling it. So that is how your subconscious mind learns something new. That's how it's imprinted, so that you gradually start erasing that 95% from negative thoughts about money, and it starts to create, like I said, it's not just money, lots of money, because we all deal with money every day, right? Yeah, so but lots of it is where the issue is, having lots of it. So create a picture of you receiving lots of money. Imagine that you received an alert and you open your bank app. Oh my God, lots of money. So see it over and over again, because this method works with repetition. You must repeat. The same way you spent maybe 25 years living with your parents and seeing it over and over again, that's the same way you have to repeat this visualization. Visualize it, say it, use all your 5 senses, feel good about it, feel it. Put all these things together. Like I said, you would have to bring out time, make time every day to do it, most likely 3 times in a day. So I hope you found this very helpful. And if you want to more of this kind of content, please like this channel, subscribe to this channel, share to someone who may need it, download, save, and share, please.